Welcome to another edition of the Sentry Second. I'm Kendall Vallon.
And I'm Haley Sawyer, and we are here to give you all the stories from the news that you would actually be interested in.
Today we'll be talking about a possible sea monster in New Jersey.
And a future honeymoon to Mars?
Yep, you said that right.
Yeah.
So let's jump into our first story for today. So last Tuesday, Australian billionaire and chairman of Blue Star Line Shipping Company, Clive Palmer, revealed the blueprints for his company's new project, the Titanic II, claiming it to be the safest cruise ship in the world with plenty of lifeboats. It seems pretty ironic. We all know what happened last time back in April of 1912, so let's not get into that, but I guess Palmer believes that it is a revolutionary idea.
To give a gist of the billionaire's new cruise ship, I'll refer to one of his recent descriptions of the Titanic II. Just like in 1912, there will be 3 classes of passengers, and those with different tickets will not be able to move between the classes. Everyone on board will be provided with early 20th century style clothes in their cabins to get them in the mood. Whilst there will be air conditioning, there will be no TVs and no internet in a bid to get back to the romance of a bygone age.
Sounds like a
sick
giant role
fantasy.
play.
Sick fantasy.
The ship set sail in 2016 from Southampton, England, to New York City, following the ill-fated Titanic's original planned route. I think that somebody is going to place an iceberg there, and
Yeah, that iceberg's probably still there.
Yeah, Jade, one of our producers, was talking about earlier how some psycho is probably going to try to sink the ship and recreate such a horrible moment.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
We'll see in 2016.
If you spent a lot of time on Reddit last week, you may have seen a picture of a sea monster captured in New Jersey. Fisherman Doug Cutler of Manville, yes, that is a real place, posted a picture on his Facebook back in 2011, but a friend recently spread the picture to the rest of the internet. The beast is in fact a 3-foot-long sea lamprey weighing about 4.5 pounds. Cutler is shocked at the fact that so many people thought that the image was photoshopped. He says that this just proves how disconnected people are from nature. Sea lampreys are actually native to New Jersey, so it really shouldn't be a surprise that he caught one. I mean, they're all over the place, I guess.
A new nonprofit led by American millionaire Dennis Tito is mounting an ambitious plan to launch the first ever space tourist couple on a trip to Mars. Tito himself paid his way to a vacation in space back in 2001 and now wants others to have this experience of a lifetime. He held a press conference at the National Press Club yesterday to announce the launch of the Inspiration Mars Foundation. Tito hopes to choose a space capsule and rocket from among those already on the market and modify them to carry 2 people to Mars and back in 501 days. But why is he targeting a married couple, you may ask? Well, Tito told Space.com, and this is a quote, "When you're out that far and the Earth is a teeny blue pinpoint, you're gonna need someone you can hug." And that is a direct quote. It sounds like a bunch of bull, but according to Space.com, he did hire a group of scientists and engineers to study the potential mission. Tito hopes to have this launch opportunity ready by January of 2018. So we'll see how that actually turns out.
The happiest state and city in America has been decided before, but never like this. The Vermont Complex Systems Center at the University of Vermont used tweets to figure it out this time. Researchers have studied more than 10 million geotagged tweets and focused on the positive or negative words found in them. Positive buzzwords included wine, gift, cheers, and beach, while negative words included boo, and hate. Big surprise, Hawaii took the top spot for happiest state. Napa, California was also found to be the happiest city, which makes sense because they have a lot of wine there. The study also found that the South was a bit more somber and sad than their northern and western neighbors. Even though the study seems very accurate, these researchers are quick to mention that they ignored the context of the tweets and rather just focused on the words.
By now you have probably heard of the Google Glass technology that's coming out later this year. The cool futuristic eyewear device that can snap photos, translate phrases, and offer directions, all via a little small glass cube suspended over the viewer's right eye. But now the company faces the problem. How do you get the public to actually invest hundreds of dollars in the device? Even Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, questioned Glass by asking, how do you look out from this without looking awkward? Google is now making an early version available for purchase to a limited group of people to answer these questions and to teach the general public how to use Glass. Google is hoping to target several types of people in this new preview test: the adventurous public, like skydivers and runway models, to create an edge for their product, parents, and business travelers. That is something I've never really considered. I've been so excited about Google Glass for probably the past year, but I've never thought about the fashion aspect of it.
No Doubt is postponing their upcoming tour, but for a really good reason. Since the band had such a good time recording Push and Shove, their last album, the band decided to get started right away on their next album. They already have begun the process back in their Los Angeles studio, actually, and No Doubt posted an extensive message on their Facebook page apologizing to fans who bought tour tickets and continued to say this: "While we were traveling the world last year promoting Push and Shove, Gwen mentioned she was inspired to write new music. In December, around the time of our hometown shows, we discussed the idea of starting 2013 by getting back in the studio together. We did so in January, and new music just started flowing with unexpected ease. After spending 3 years recording the last album, this new pace feels incredibly exciting," and that is very exciting. I love No Doubt.
Well, Kanye West has yet again felt the need to profess his feelings regarding the music industry, this time in London on the Apollo Hammersmith stage. During a musical interlude of Yeezy's song Click, he just let it all out, knocking Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z's new song Suit and Tie, saying, quote, "I got love for Hove, but I ain't effing with that suit and tie." He continued to insult the Grammy Awards and express his hatred for corporate censorship. West performed for a second time after the anger-filled show at the Hammersmith stage, but decided not to let his feelings show during that gig. It may be all of the baby stress that's coming up, or maybe he's just trying to get back in the news.
If you watched the Oscars this past Sunday, you probably remember Anne Hathaway's acceptance speech. Now, the accomplished actress is actually suffering criticism for it. After giving a heart-wrenching emotional speech at the BAFTAs, SAG Awards, and the Golden Globe Awards, the haters are saying that her Oscar speech was overly rehearsed. But I mean, who can blame her? She received so much criticism for her overly emotional speech, so it would only make sense that she toned it down a little. It seems like Anne Hathaway will just really never be left alone.
Now let's switch it to a serious note, to an accident that took place in Luxor, Egypt last Tuesday. A hot air balloon caught on fire and crashed, killing 19 tourists. It is believed that the burners of the balloon somehow made contact with flammable material. There were a total of 21 people on the balloon, but only the pilot and the British tourist survived. This is believed to be the worst hot air balloon accident in history, and my thought and prayers go out with everybody involved.
For our next story, the comet of the century, aka Comet Ison, will be making an appearance this year. Astronomers are predicting that the comet could be as bright as the moon or possibly visible during daytime. NASA agrees, but adds that comets do kind of whatever they want to, so Ison could flare up or burn out at different times.
The appearance of Ison is freaking some doomsdayers out a little bit. They believe that the famous end-of-the-world forecaster Nostradamus, I think I said that right, said that the Pope, to replace Benedict, will, quote, flee Rome in December at that time when the sky has two suns, which is an allusion to Ison. Coincidentally enough, astronomers are predicting Ison to make its grand entrance in December of 2013. So that's a really darn close conspiracy theory there.
This has been another edition of the Sentry Second.
Check back every Friday on SentryMedia.com to see our lovely faces.
And make sure you give a thumbs up to our Facebook page at RMU Sentry.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.